Good morning, everybody. It's Brett, your Thankful Carnivore. April the 15th, 2020, in the middle of the coronavirus hysteria lockdown. And this is today's Thankful Carnivore Report. I appreciate so much you taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble about things related to the carnivore way of eating and other issues I find interesting. Please check me out across all my social media at thankful.carnivore on Instagram, on Twitter, where those meat-eating savages are still running wild at Stickman Bleeding. That's STICKMANBLEEDIN. Don't add a G. Facebook, YouTube, Thankful Carnivore. Don't forget, you can get a 30-minute carnivore coaching session from meatrx.com for under $20. That's right. A 30-minute carnivore coaching session at meatrx.com for under $20. Go check it out. Okay, today's topic. You say you can't afford to be healthy. In my experience, since I've been an open and proud, happy, thankful advocate of this wonderful way of eating we call the carnivore diet, about 1 out of every 4, maybe 1 out of every 5 people that I get to share my experience with will say the following: that sounds very expensive. I don't think I can afford to just eat meat. I can't afford to just eat steaks and ribeyes like that. It's too expensive, man. I just can't do it. And I automatically translate that into people saying, I can't afford to be healthy, which I find astounding, to be honest. I mean, and if you stop and examine it, it's part of the mindset change that has to happen for many people because of the programming, Meat's expensive, plants are affordable. Well, not when you sit down and work out the whole equation. For instance, when you say you can't afford to eat meat, but you can afford to go see a doctor more than 4 times a year because of illnesses and chronic symptoms, you can't afford to never need medications again? Are you telling me it's cheaper to have to go buy meds than to live in such a way that you never have to buy meds? That's what you're telling me? Are you telling me it's too expensive to live without headaches? You can't afford to live without having a headache every day? Is that what you're saying to me? You can't afford to live without joint pain? You can't afford to live without depression, anxiety, or insomnia? Are you serious? It's cheaper to be sick and in misery? That doesn't compute, my friends, because number one, if we're not inflamed, we're not ill. We don't need to see a physician unless we suffer an injury in an accident or misadventure. Why just go burn money just for the sake of burning money? I don't need to see a physician ever again until I either injure myself or I start experiencing issues with my organs operating properly. And as long as I'm not consuming toxins, I'm not worried about that until I draw my last breath. It's just not a concern. And you know what? I don't eat expensive meat. I can't afford to eat expensive. I eat ground beef and bacon, cheap as we can find it. I'm not eating $40 ribeyes. I'm not eating tomahawks. I'm not eating filet mignon, even though I would really like to be able to. If I could afford it, that would be what I would eat with my bacon every day. But I can't afford that. I eat the cheapest meat that works for me, and that's lean ground beef and bacon. It's very affordable. And, not spending money on doctor visits, lab work, medicines, on all the other sundry things. I don't have to buy antacids because my stomach is no longer a wreck. My gut is flawlessly operating. I don't have any problems there at all anymore. I used to go through two of those big silly things of antacids every couple of weeks. Yeah, one a week. I'd go through it, no problem at all, because I was a sugar addict and they tasted good and I liked them. I don't need any of that now. In fact, when my wife and I go to the grocery store, we just buy meat and it takes us maybe 10, 15 minutes tops to do our grocery shopping for the whole week. Geez, I couldn't afford that extra time in my life to do other things. You've got to stop and be thoughtful about this, my friends. How can you afford not to be healthy? How can you afford that? How can you afford to not think as clearly as you're capable of? How do you afford being not brain fart my own self here, got tied up with trying to say two things at once. How can you afford to not be at your optimal best? Don't you deserve that? I think you do. I think we all deserve that. And I think no matter where we are in the world, no matter how poor we are, if we just stop being reactive and be thoughtful instead, there is a way to find meat that you can eat. There's no law, universal law that says thou must eat garbage, that thou must consume toxins. My friends, we can't afford to continue as we are in our Western society under this disease management paradigm. We're burning through trillions of dollars of every year for things that don't work. And we could save so much money and, more importantly, so much misery. We could prevent so much death and misery from occurring if we just taught people to stop consuming toxins and only eat human absorbable nutrition. For me, that's meat and water. And I continue to thrive every day. Today's day number is 639 of just eating meat and drinking water. No problems, no complaints. Every day is spectacular. Listen, my friends, you know you can't afford to not be as healthy as possible. Stop making excuses. Stop following the programming. Think outside the box. You deserve to be healthy. Do the things you know you need to do to take care of you. Eat your meat, drink your water, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow. No, don't forget. You know you can't forget this. But we all have something to be thankful for. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.